All right, so before we dive into any questions, I like to make it a conversational piece, and this is my first time not meeting, but having a conversation with all of you. So I'm excited about that. But before we do that, I would like for you to introduce yourself, what it is you do, and how long you've been doing it. So we can start right here with you, Derrek.
Hello, everybody. My name is Derrek McKinney. I'm the CEO of the indie label L.O.U.D Music. L.O.U.D stands for Live Out Your Dreams. We manage artists. We're a record company. We do events. We host festivals. Been doing it for, I want to say, about 20, 21 years now. I have had the record company almost 10 years. Just been really in the music industry, focused on pushing independent artists and the independent culture forward.
Appreciate that. Terri?
My name is Terri Thomas. I am the CEO of Renegades, Rebels, and Rogues, and I am a brand strategist, and I've been doing that for a few months. So most people may have been acquainted with me. I was with Urban One here in Houston, 97.9 The Box, Magic 102, and the 92.1 brand for the past 19 years. Boston bred, Houston fed. I spent the bulk of my career in music and media, and also built a lot of brands, whether they were the music brands, the media brands, or even helping business owners craft their brands. So really passionate about brand building, and a lot of my clients that I'm working with now definitely have adjacencies to the entertainment business. So I work with artists and different adjacencies in entertainment. So that's what I'm doing now.
Love that.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kay Mills. I am an actress and TV personality. I've been doing that for about 13 years. And I have the pleasure of being a media correspondent for Hip Hop Streets with my good friend here, and I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Marquis Jenkins. I'm the founder of Hip Hop Streets live stream music app. And what we is a digital streaming platform to help new artists, underground artists. Our motto is we help jumpstart careers just to get you to the next level. And then from there, down when you go to meeting the Derreks and the Terrys and all that. So we like to just say we the first stop. Come through us, let us get you going, get you in the right direction.
Love that. I feel so blessed to have y'all on the stage together. So this panel is about hacks, industry hacks for artists. So what are the key steps or hacks for aspiring hip hop artists to break into the industry in 2024?
Somebody like to start? So
It's a lot.
it's a lot. It's a whole lot. But I'll be honest with you, what I've come to terms with within the past year, 2 years, there really is no hack, right? And I think that's one of the things that has 100% hurt urban music, has hurt hip hop, it has hurt R&B, that we're looking for hacks. People hear hack and think shortcut. There's absolutely no shortcut. The only thing that matters is outworking the person next to you. The only hack or shortcut is just to work. Work your butt off 24/7, 365. You eat, sleep, you dream it. You're a star on stage, off stage, social media. I don't personally have any hacks. All I say is just put the work in. Outwork everybody, because everybody's so stuck on relying on finding a hack and hopes to go viral, hopes that somebody co-signs and sees them, that they shortchange the actual work. And I think that's the hack. Outwork the next person.
I love that perspective.
I would say he's 1,000% right. And, what I find the biggest problem is, especially on the music side with artists, is that number one, you haven't really clearly identified your brand's identity. Who are you? What do you do? Why does it matter? And I think it really starts there, because you have to know who you are as an artist. And I'll say that now. I'm working with an artist right now who just got a partnership with United Masters. And that's one of the cornerstone things that we've been working on with him, is that in person, he's the most phenomenal guy. I mean, just engaging, charismatic, all of it. The music is great. That's why we got the partnership with United Masters. But when that camera turns on, he thinks he's got to be a rap star. And so it's breaking out of the mentality of thinking that you have to be what other people expect you to be, instead of identifying who you really are and what part of your personality, what part of your true persona, who are you on the inside, the unique, different special things that God put inside of you and put that under the microscope and amplify that, because that's going to lead you in the direction of success. And there's a lot of sameness. So first, I would say a lot of artists are not really sitting down and digging in deep to identify their brand clearly. And then once you've done that, you have to come up with a strategy. Again, that's where I come in, because there's no plan. And so there's a lot of artists that are winging it, and some are failing forward, for example, like my client, and I'm very proud of him. But one of the reasons that he came to me is because he understood, I don't know what I don't know. And he's out here and he's trying to Google and he's trying to wing it and he's trying to figure it out. But he was smart enough to say, I don't know. I really don't know, and I need somebody I think I can trust to show me the way. And so identify your brand, and then you really have to come up with a strategy. How do you get to be successful? It's not by accident. And you can blow a lot of money and make a lot of misturns when you don't operate in strategy. So I know we're going to have a further conversation, but those are two key things that I think are essential to get you on the right path to, fulfilling your dream as an artist.
Man, y'all really up here preaching. I don't really have to come behind you. I will say, though, I agree 1,000% with everything that you all have shared. There is no wrong way to eat a Reese's, right? So I think a lot of people imitate what's popular instead of finding like, what is my true authentic brand and self? What is it that I want to share? But I think piggybacking off what you said, putting in the work, in doing the work that increases your visibility. And I think that is one of the assets that you bring with Hip Hop Streets. Like, you got to do the work, but put yourself out there to be seen, to be heard. Whatever it is that you do, you need an audience for that, right? So I was trying to give you a little alley-oop so you can go into Hip Hop Streets.
I love the teamwork.
I would say come to events like this. You got to put yourself in the arena. A lot of people want to play the game, but they don't know where the game being played at. So if you come into the ballpark of where hip hop at and where music is, then that's where you get the most industry hack, because that's where you're getting the information, the knowledge. You're shaking the hands, you're meeting the people. You can't say you're an artist and you're not going to networking events. You're not going to showcases. You're not going to Law Fest. Things of that nature. And these are events that's going on right here in the city of Houston. So I think that's the most important thing. Just make sure you're in the right ballpark.
You know what? And that leads me right into my next question, which is, what are some of the effective strategies for networking and making connections within the hip hop community? Because I feel like people are scared of networking. Honestly, they put themselves in rooms, but they don't want to talk to people, right? Or they only going to talk to the people that they've been knowing. Well, if you've been knowing this person, you have all the information that they can give. So what are some strategies, or what is your advice to some of the artists that need to actually maximize on networking when they're in rooms like this?
You offer before you ask. Yes. Most time people think networking is one-sided. You go to an event to see what you can get out of it, but sit in your car and figure out, what am I going to offer the people in the room? Because I know if you're coming to network with me, clearly you know what I can provide for you, but you never state what you can provide for me. And that's why they be like, everybody always want money, because you have not clearly defined anything you can do for me that outweighs you being charged. So I think one of the true story, there was an event in New York on a Friday. I saw it on a Thursday. I flew to the event. I asked my wife, hey, what you doing tomorrow? Say nothing. We went to New York. I bought 2 tickets, $250 a ticket. I sat front row at the event just to meet one person. I met the one person. I didn't ask him for anything. I said, let me show you what I can do for you. I brought one of his people out to our event. I took care of him. I showed him our whole organization. I moved him around to everything I needed to do before I ever asked him to do anything for me. Then he asked me, can I play this song on satellite radio? Well, yes, sir, yes, you can. I showed him my value before I ever asked him for anything. When you go to a networking event, go to show what you can offer the room. It makes you so much more valuable. But if you're only in there to take, you're going to be charged any and everywhere you go. You're not going to make any genuine connections or any genuine relationships. I have a phenomenal relationship with Terri, a phenomenal relationship. 24/7, I can call, she can call me, whatever. But I always made sure I told Terri, I know what she does. She know it. Listen, she's at the radio station. That was at the radio station. I'm a record company. Clearly, I want music played. But I understand. Let me show you what I can do. How can I help you to make it bigger than the music? Music was last conversation. So prove your value first, and it's so much easier to network from there.
I gotta go after that because this is my dude. So co-sign everything he says. We are definitely, it's like my brother from another mother here. So I do want to say though, sometimes, well, you have to be open to the journey, right? So sure, we could take it down to brass tacks. Derrek's got a record label, he's got artists. I'm the gateway to radio airplay, okay? That's base level. But if all he wanted from me is radio airplay, then if the music is not in position for that, then the conversation ends. But we understand the necessity of building rapport and relationship, and that it's more. There's always going to be another record. And so my part of the conversation, what I could bring to Derrek, hey, we got to make sure that, you know, the stars align for the record to come in and so forth and so on. But I asked Derrek, well, how can I help you in the meantime? Because we're trying to build a relationship and a rapport, and that's a long-term situation. And so getting involved and amplifying things like L.O.U.D Music Fest, amplifying things like the press junket, getting involved there, putting his name in rooms he hasn't been into yet, putting his artist name in rooms that they haven't been into yet. Like, hey, these are some people we need to watch out of Houston. And then he does the same for me. And so that's a give and take sort of relationship. So I do want to recognize Derrek because, you know, it's always about the bigger picture. And don't be so focused on what you feel that you need in the immediate moment that you overlook the long-term opportunity. The second piece of the puzzle is this, and I did a post on it on my Instagram for anybody that follows, you might have seen it. And that is, sometimes you go in the room as an artist and you got your dark glasses on and you got your squad with you and you take the back booth and you sit there and you having your couple cocktails and you just observing, you're seeing everything that's going on and you felt like you've been somewhere. Well, you haven't been anywhere and you haven't done anything. So as an artist, you have to realize that you are asking for people to vote for you with their time, with their money, with their follow on Instagram or TikTok or whatever your platform is. So coming in the room, like my man here in the yellow t-shirt, I was in the back, he came, he introduced himself to my entire family. That's somebody who wants to be remembered. And so a lot of times we come into these rooms and we think that we're networking, but we are not humble enough to even go around and introduce yourself. Not about what you can do for me, but I'm so-and-so and I'm this, and I just wanted to say hello. It's the decency of the humanity that we have cast aside because we're so seduced with the celebrity and we forget it's the basic stuff that mom, dad, grandma sat here and taught us about how you need to enter a room and you need to connect with people. And so don't overlook the basic things that people think, well, you know, I'm too much of a star for that. No, but that's what makes you memorable. Right. And I'm going to pass it to you, but what I will say this, make your fan, make that person feel like the VIP. They will always make you the star. We think it's about us as a celebrity. You know, hey, I'm so-and-so, and you should want to take a picture with me. No, I want to take a picture with you if I'm the artist. Let me take a picture with you. Let me create a moment with you. Your kid likes my song. Hey, man, can I do a little video for him really quick? What does that cost you? Nothing but a little bit of sweat equity and a little bit of time. And so don't forget when it comes to networking, your network is your net worth, but anybody in this room can be an asset to you. So make sure that you are open-minded when you come into spaces and humble enough to make those real connections.
Dropping bars. Man, why I gotta come behind you? I should have said
we all on the same team.
Y'all really killing it. One small thing I would add is doing research to even know who's in the room. I know a lot of times people feel like just showing up or people are gonna be here. You don't even know who the people are and how you can be of value. Like at least picking certain people that you know, like, okay, I know that I could be of use to them. I could add value. I want to connect with this person. Just being in the room. If you're not going to do the work to actually connect, like you said, socialize, the person to your left or right can change your life. You know what I mean? So it's like, do the research. What events are happening in the city? Who's going to be there? Like you said, you looked at an event the day before, flew out there. for one person in particular, but you knew who was going to be there. You did that research and you found it valuable enough to make that sacrifice to, fly up there. So do your research and also connect, like you said.
I love that additional information. That was great.
I would add follow up. You have to follow up. Going to these events, getting contacts, and never reaching a person or waiting a month. That person not gonna remember you. So I'm very key on that. I think everybody on this panel know that because that's how I know them. If I get your contact, I'm DMing, I'm texting,
Harassing.
I'm doing something the next day because I have a job, and my job is to make you remember me because I came to you. So networking is networking, but you have to follow up. Don't just go home with a bunch of contacts and think you're successful. It's not a contact until you can really contact it.
I just want to add a note because he's giving you the gem right there. So look, this may seem super nerdy, but everybody got a phone in here. So when you put that contact in your phone, there's a section called notes, right? Put a note or two about the conversation, the interaction, something that you experienced when you met that person. Do it almost immediately because you want to remember. And then the next time you reach out, you go back to your notes. What can I bring out to sort of help me rekindle how I met this person, right? People, a lot of the people that you want to meet are meeting a lot of people. Yeah. But you could connect that dot by saying, hey, you know what, Terri, I remember I met you and your family at Jasmine's event, and we had a conversation about such and such, or you had on a dope sneakers or whatever little tidbit that you remember about that experience. And then when you have that further conversation with that person, there's going to be another nugget that you're going to share there. Add that to the notes. Mm-hmm. Every time you're connecting, this is how we build network. You got to do some work when you're trying to create that. And these are the human, simple things that you can do and keep good notes. And so you're continuing to further and deepen that connection.
And one more thing. And you're following everybody on social media, right? So, for example, I'm following Derrek. I'm following Terri. Derrek, if he got something going on with his artist, without hesitation, I'm already following him, I'm networking with him, I'm gonna repost it. Terri gonna have a gym, I'm gonna repost it, right? We actually labeled her industry hacks on our Instagram. We take her, cause she give good quotes. So it's to say, when you got these people contacting you on social media, interact with them. You know what I'm saying? Make them remember you. You know what I'm saying? You actually have to go after it. You can't sit back, you gotta take your cool off. You got to go after it if you really want it.
You know what? That leads into the next question. Y'all are great. Y'all on point. So how and why should artists use big platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Hip Hop Streets, or smaller platforms like CC Network to actually put themselves out there? How can they do that, and why is that important?
So I think the evolution of the platforms is happening right now. I think the platforms, whatever you were doing on these platforms 6 months ago, is old, it's dated. One of the things that has helped me and my team across these platforms are we just really don't give a rat's ass about impressing anybody. Just be yourself.
Yes.
That goes back to that inner brand within you that Terri spoke about. So the lady that does taxes, the guy selling Frenchies, the credit repair guru, the relationship podcast, all of their content is the same. And then as an artist, you go in and make the same content because they're getting likes and views and followers, and you feel like, oh, I'm engaging. You're not. All you're doing is falling into that trap. On these platforms, what makes you you? Why am I coming into your store? That's all that platform is. If your store sells everything that every other store sells, they're going to go to the cheapest price. What can I only get when I come to your page? What can I get from you as an artist, as a brand, as a person, as an individual? Can I trust you with my feelings when I'm down or when I'm happy? Am I going to get a laugh? Am I going to get some motivation? Use your platforms to really sell who you are personally. But you can't stop there. You have to figure out a way to get them to leave that platform to give you their name, phone number, and email address. You only use these platforms to collect your audience's data, and then you can talk to them whenever you want to. If you are relying on these platforms to make you, they're going to break you. Those days are over. We're past the viral moments. We're past those days, right? Because now viral doesn't necessarily lead to success. It may lead to attention, but it does not lead to success. And if you're a recording artist or in the music industry and you're looking for attention, more power to you. Salute, keep going. But if you're actually looking for success in a career, you have to convert them. Get them off of Instagram and into your concert. Use your Instagram to sell them a t-shirt. Collect their email address so you can invite them to a private listening party. You have to convert them away from the platform in order to make them your fan. Because if not, they're just a fan of you on that platform. And I'll be short with this last moment. We've all watched American Idol. TikTok and American Idol, to me, are one and the same. There are people that get millions of votes every week on American Idol, but the second they're not on that show, you never hear from them again. Nobody's buying their music. They only love them while they're in that space. A lot of artists are only loved while they're on TikTok, while they're on Instagram, while they're making jokes, and while they're doing everything other than selling their music. So don't get caught up in the platform. The platform is just a tool to get them over into your own platform, your database, your personal space.
Anybody like to add to that?
I mean, if you're an artist and all you're putting out here is a message about what you're selling, you're missing the boat. You have to put some of who you are on it. Again, I could go back to my guy who is failing forward, right? But he understands he's failing, so we're course correcting. You have to put some intentionality into what you do. The other thing I will share is that a lot of times we give up too early. We give up way too soon. So anybody in the room familiar with Tanner Adele, for example?
Yes.
All right. She's out of Nashville. You know, she's the Buckle Bunny. She's got Whiskey Blues just came out. Love her. Love Teddy Swims, another artist. Two things that I love that they do with the platform is, one, they are hammering their single, but they are doing it creatively. Because remember, if you're promoting your music, repetition is key. Repeating that hook. People say, well, hey, Derrek, why they play that song? Why they play your song so much on the box, Derrek? And Derrek would say, well, it's because people's favorite record and they're not tired of it. So remember that audiences have so many things that are competing for for attention. So it's going to take a lot longer for you to break your single. And you've got to hammer that hook. And what are the 100 ways you can hammer your hook with a creative short form video? It could just be you, like Tanner. She's running out the Taco Bell with the bag in the hand. There's a mic hanging, and then boom, she's dropping the hook. You saw that too, right? She's dropping the hook, but that became funny, and it's in her personality. I mean, you could tell that she's a very quirky, fun-loving artist. Teddy is different, right? A lot of his videos are more, and they might be a little bit staged. He walks in somewhere over here. There's some guy playing a piano who likes to sit there and play the piano. He gets a young lady to walk up to the guy and says, well, do you know this song from Teddy Swims? Oh, yeah, I know it. Dude starts playing the song, and boom, here comes Teddy out the background, and he sings a song, and boom, now you've got a video. Teddy's singing a song. They capture that. They're doing a lot of good things in the space where they're also highlighting their fans. There's huge opportunities on these social platforms to highlight the fan and really make them lock in with you because, again, you're making them the star. And so like Derrek's saying, everybody wants people to hit the follow button, but you have to lead them somewhere. But if I've made a deeper connection with you, now when I say, come follow me over here and give me your personal information, remember, it costs them nothing to follow you. That's a fingertip on a button. But now I want you to invest in me. And your investment is going to mean that I'm going to get your name and your email at the least. And if I'm real special, I'm going to get your telephone number. I'm giving up my personal information because I feel personally connected to your art and to who you are as an artist. So remember, if you're just new song out next week, new song out next week, new song out next week, you're not going to really go far with making connection and using the platform to your benefit.
Okay, so yeah, that just triggered something, right? So let me tell y'all something. A lot of artists aren't making music for the art. They're making music to have content to post. If you make better music, you'll have to create less content. There's this thing called UGC, user-generated content. One of the masters at UGC is obviously Beyonce, Drake. When they take all of those quotables from their records and you see people driving in their car listening to it and then they repost, people are making all types of videos. When fans are making videos of your music, you don't have to make content. Make a great song and the content will generate itself. Stop dropping a record, new music Monday, I'm gonna drop a record every week for the next 6 weeks. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. You're throwing hay in a haystack. You're not even throwing a needle in there with the hopes of being found. Stop doing that. Have a strategy. 6 to 8 weeks at the minimum to roll out a single. Because if it don't work in those first 6 weeks, so what? Give it another 6 weeks. After that, give it another 6 weeks. Who cares? Give it a whole year. If you love it and you stand on it, man, it takes that long, especially today, for it to be embedded in somebody's head. I've been pushing 2 records at going on a year now. We're nowhere near tired of it. We're not thinking about nothing else. We are 100% good because we keep tapping into different markets, different cities, different fans, different ages, different demographics, different ad sets with the same quote unquote old song. Stop just feel like I need content, so I'll put out music. Because all that does is hurts your digital resume. With Spotify, see, man, this person released 13 songs, and collectively they got 9 streams between all 13 songs.
Not even 13 streams?
Nah, not even 13 streams. So then it's like they have no reason to feature you anywhere on the platform because you're telling them you don't even listen to all your music. So why should they place you somewhere for others to? Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I was just
Love
gonna,
that. Go ahead.
real quick. I think also your commitment to hey, if this song doesn't work for 6 weeks, 12 weeks, I'm gonna rock with it here or there. It's a commitment to this is who I am as an artist. This is my work. I love my work. I don't have to conform to what's popular right now. This is me as an artist, and really stick to that. I think a lot of people try to please everyone with their work. It's just know who you are as an artist, know what your brand is, and rock with that. And then that's what I wanted to say.
So Marquis, can you talk about because you have a platform. So why is that important for artists?
I would say make sure your platform look like an artist. Your social media. Your social media is your bio, right? So I see artists and you go to their page and they got everything on there but music. I do music, no links, no nothing. Some of them might not even have a photo. I'd be like, who knows you? And then they'll be private. How are you private and you're trying to get somebody to like your music? You know what I'm saying? So I think they go about it wrong. Being secretive, that's not it. You got to be out loud and outspoken. And I think, don't spam. Don't spam.
Please
don't spam. Hey, check out my music. Don't do that because we don't know who you are. So it's a better approach, a better way. Hey, I'm such and such. I'm from Alabama. If you got time, can you check out my music? Such and such. Things of that nature. But don't just like Derrek say, oh, we're dropping the new music this week. I haven't seen the last one. So you have to kind of slow down and gradually get out of it's going to happen fast because I'm on social media. That's not true. You know what I'm saying? Take your time, build your true fan base, and like they say, collect data. Data is dollars. So collect a true fan base, and to be honest with you, if you had 1,000 fans, you could make it. If you can, just gather that, 1,000. Get you 1,000 fans, start off small, and quit thinking that everything gonna go platinum, because people don't go platinum. It takes years. Almost a year for an album, and that's an album being pushed. Because I just seen that the Mexican OT album just went platinum. So that album...
That song went
platinum. The song. One song. And that took a whole entire year. So just, something to think about on that.
Y'all are definitely dropping gems. So I have one more question, then we'll open it up to the audience. So why is education, mentorship, and collaboration so important for aspiring hip hop artists in this industry?
I think the smarter you are, the better music you make. There's a book by Donald Passman, All You Need to Know About the Music Business. It's on the 14th edition. I have bought 8 through 14. The Plain and Simple Guide to Music Publishing is the 4th edition. I've bought 3 and 4. I have close to 90 books that are just on the music business. I want to know it all. In the morning before I check any social media, I look at Music Business Worldwide, I look at BMI.com, I look at ASCAP.com, I look at Digital Music News, I look at Billboard.com. I need to know what my industry is doing. It's amazing and mind-blowing that today how many artists aren't registered with a performance rights organization. It's baffling how many artists don't have an EPK. And the bare minimum and essentials that you need to even effectively work in this industry, you're skipping over it. You're going straight to shooting a video and going to the studio and uploading it to TuneCore or somewhere, DistroKid on your phone, and you're an artist. And you don't know the industry. You don't know the business. Artists who know the business are some of the greatest people to work with, because then they understand what you're doing. So you think Jay-Z is who he is because he's not a businessman? Beyonce, Rihanna, J. Cole, Kendrick, Drake, regardless of whatever beef, look at the companies they own outside of music. These are educated business people. And those artists here or just gonna watch later who think, oh, I rap, I F with the music, bro. I'm the exact opposite. I don't smoke. Don't come to my office high. My events are set up to where there's no smoking or drinking during the media portion of it. If you smell like weed or alcohol coming in, we don't let you in. It's a business. There's no way you can be successful in the music business. It's not the music friendship. It's not the music bro. It's not the music sis. It's not the music homie. It's not the music gang. It's the music business. And if you don't treat it as such, you do not deserve to be in it.
Love that. Go ahead.
Education is everything. We had the opportunity of interviewing Jermaine Dupri, and Jermaine Dupri told us that he said, for some reason, artists, he said, basketball, you got to go, you play 12 years, then you go to college. He just gave different analogy of all these different careers, and he was like, you have to go to school, you have to study, you have to learn for something. He said, but for some strange reason, artists think that they can just make it without no knowledge, no information, no nothing. He was like, it's unheard of. You have to have a mentor. You have to have some type of education. You have to have something. For me personally, like Derrek said, with Hip Hop Streets, I moved to Atlanta for 2 years just to learn the music industry before I even decided to say, hey, I'm finna start Hip Hop Streets. You know what I'm saying? So I went to school myself. So you have to have some type of knowledge, because if you don't have knowledge, you're going to believe anything that comes through that door because you don't know. So, you know, you got to really sit down and think and read books. It's too much books. You got internet. It's just too much technology where you don't know. And I hear artists say, oh, they messed up with me on their contract. How can you get messed up on your contract in 2024 when you can research, pay a lawyer online to read your contract for you? So it's just so much, you know what I'm saying? So it really falls on the artist. It's how bad you really want it.
I'm gonna drop a resource because I'm with you. And I have so many artists that are coming to me that their business is not handled, especially on the paperwork, everything that Derrek said on the PROs, understanding how you split sheets work, you know, making sure your business, or hey, I just went to you and got a feature from you on my project, but we didn't get no contract. So now the record may be a hit and maybe you block me or you're gonna come after me or whatever, or I'm just not gonna do right by you. That's not cool. So the Texas Young Lawyers Association. So I understand that it's expensive to play the music game. It's very expensive. So do all you can do from an economical standpoint, but some of the stuff like contracts and getting your copywriting and things of that nature, it's called TYLA, Texas Young Lawyers Association. And it's nominal for some of the services that they offer. $75 to help get you right on a contract. That's an investment well made until you can get enough equity going so that you can, have your personal attorney, et cetera, and so forth and so on. But it's a super solid resource. There are resources out here available to you if you are willing to look and seek. But understand that you have to put something into the conversation as well. That goes back to the networking, or even if we really say, what is collaboration? Collaboration is that we're working together, but I've got to be doing something that benefits you. You have to be doing something that benefits me. So to me, collaboration is everything. But please, let's collaborate with proper paperwork.
Yes.
Because paperwork clears up confusion. Paperwork says that I understand what you're expecting from me and what I should expect from you. And this is how it's all going to work. When you can sit down like business people and have an honest conversation about what it really is, and then get that down, get it signed off on, you're going to be in a lot better space. Because when money and fame starts to kick in, a lot of people get amnesia, and it makes it to have very difficult conversations when now you're in a terrible situation where maybe you got something, but you didn't handle your paperwork, and now that something that you got can't really bloom into the fullest beauty that it's supposed to be because we got paperwork issues. Because I will say this, a lot of us, as artists, we're trying to get the upsource opportunity, right? We want somebody, if I make something that's great, but there's a lot of great out here, I'm gonna say it, there really is. So if you got problems with your samples not being cleared or your paperwork not being handled properly, they will move to the next one if it seems too complicated. I have a true story. Kiati would tell you the same story. That's my homie. So it's real story. Back in the Gap, everybody knows Kiati, who really was a rapper and one of the most incredible freestyle rappers I've ever met in my entire life. His level of creativity on the fly is just amazing. And so I was really blessed to meet Kiati, and he's super gifted. And y'all remember some years back, this is some years now, it was one of those, what was it, Derrek? The NBA All-Star Weekend. Big weekend in Houston. It was one of the finest weekends I've been here. I was up at the box, and when I tell you every celebrity on the planet, there were people coming in there, I was pinching myself. There were actors, actresses, there were big music stars, producers, record company owners. I mean, I wish during that time social media it was what it is now, because it would have been great to capture all that. But anyway, Kiati's on. He's on with G-Man, and we were doing the 5 o'clock mix. I want to say maybe GT was in the mix. And Kiati's going at it. I mean, we freestyling, and he's crushing it. And so my friend, who's another person, if you don't know the Alchemy Group, you should. But Azim Rashid, he lives here in Houston. And Azim at the time was working for, don't remember, but major record label. And he's standing next to me, his phone rings. He hands me the phone. You need to talk to this guy. And truthfully, and I know he's under a lot of drama, but it was Diddy. So Diddy is on the phone because he's like, who's that guy rapping on the radio right now? And it was Kiati. He said, I have got to sign him. I have got to get my way to this, because he could hear it. He could hear the talent. But Kiati, because he didn't know any better, had unfortunately gotten into some situation with contracts that just wasn't good business. So he wasn't able to capitalize on that particular opportunity. And now knowing what we see coming out, maybe that was for the best. Well, it was, we would say, for the best. But the point of the matter is this, you can find yourself in suspect situations if you just have so much focus on, I just want what I want, and you're not willing to sit down and deal with the business first. And so don't find yourself in that position. There are real resources out here that you can tap into that will help you get yourself together so that you're not cutting off your foot before you even get out the gate.
Love that.
On the education side of things, here's something that I do, and no, it's not a hack. I look at all the major brands: Beats by Dre, Nike, Apple Music, Spotify, GMC, Chevrolet, Ford, Cadillac, Tesla. I look at what they do. I look at how they advertise. I look at the fonts they use. I educate myself on their strategy. I will Google what was the marketing strategy behind the 2024 Black Raven Cadillac Escalade. How did they get this in the hands of so many people to where it's sold out 2 years in advance? So education in music, man, we're selling lifestyle. We're selling a brand. We're selling it all. So you have to understand, if I go to the movies, I'll notice every car in this movie is an Audi. Every drink in here has been a Pepsi. Only restaurant signs I see have been for McDonald's in this one movie. I make notes of these things. I study these things. Like I analyze. I love the music business so much, no matter what I do, I'm finding a way for it to relate to my career. Whether if I'm at the movies, I'm at a concert, I'm at a fashion show, I'm at a restaurant, I'm in the shoe store, I'm listening to what's being played in the shoe store, and it's all clean music. So if you don't have a clean record, no, you're not getting on these playlists inside these retail stores. And then I'll ask, hey, what service do y'all use to provide music here? Bet. I'll Google it, I'll research it, I'll do it. That's all part of educating yourself in the business. Everything that you do has to revolve around your career. You can work a 9 to 5, you gotta live, but you have to invest just as much time into your music business career. You can't make it part-time in this industry. It just does not work. I don't care who it is, I don't care how talented you are. If you're not doing, to make up for that time that you have to work, you have to educate yourself in other places. I'm not rich. I don't have no investor. I have no plans of going to jail, so I don't even touch the streets. Not in my future at all. So how do I make up for not having that disposable income? I'm gonna outwork you, I'm gonna outthink you, I'm gonna out-research you, and I'm gonna educate myself. And I will never walk into a room not knowing. And especially when I leave, I'll know more than I came with.
I think that's a perfect segue to open up for any questions. Do we have any questions out there? Zalani?
Hey, how you doing? I really appreciate y'all coming in and, you know what I'm saying, just chopping it up and dropping a lot of gems. My question is, why is it that a lot of artists are finding it difficult to become brands? They're practically attaching themselves to you with the hopes that you can blow them up overnight without having to put in the actual work, or they're hoping that they could get brand sponsorship as opposed to them becoming a brand of their own.
Because they don't know. You know, they don't know. And it's not just the music business that doesn't know. I have this branding conversation all the time. I've had business owners come to me trying to figure out, not in the music, you know, trying to figure out how to grow their business, and they're the face of their business, but they haven't built their brand completely to be able to be the face of their business. I always say people buy into people before they buy into product. But because we live in this social media world that is everybody's highlight reel, we have a real messed up view of what authenticity really is. And I even hate to say the word authenticity because we hear it so much, just be authentic, that we start to ignore the word. But the word is still getting mentioned because there's a validity to it. And so you are a brand already. I will tell every person in the room, I will tell my 9-year-old daughter that she is a brand. She is a brand. Every person is already a brand. But because we are not giving ourselves permission to be really who we are, because we're subscribing to somebody else's impression of what we think we need to be to make them happy or to get their approval, we're not locking into what God put in us. So I'm going to say the God thing, because God put in each and every one of us in the room something special, special talents, gifts, and abilities. You don't have all. You have what was meant for you. And the responsibility that we have is to discover and uncover what that is, to get on the education train and make sure that we sharpen those things so we can be the very best at whatever God put in us to be. And then I do believe, go back to your collaboration word, you know, you got to recognize I don't know what I don't know. And if you can't find the answer to it, who's got the answer to it? Now I can sit here. If I don't know something, I call Derrek. If Derrek don't know something, he calls Terri. Make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people of excellence. A lot of times we're following the wrong people. We follow the wrong people on social media. We follow the wrong people in life. You know, you've got to surround yourself with eagles if you want to fly high. And so it's easy to get caught up in the low-hanging fruit out here because we want the fame. And I have a friend, and you probably will meet him sometime. He's another guy here in Houston, LaRon Harris. You know, LaRon is always like, you know, Are you trying to be famous or are you trying to make great art? Because sometimes, and oftentimes, they're not really the same thing. I can go out here right now and do something stupid and get famous. I can get famous. I could get famous right now. I choose not to. I want to be able to have substance. And so I choose a different path. And it may be like Derrek, we're not rich up here. We're rich in experience, but we're not rich, in the sense that people think, because we don't really chase that. If you chase your purpose, profit will come.
Come on.
But we're not out here. We're chasing profit. We're chasing fame. We're chasing those things. To me, that's sugar. You can't sustain on a diet of sugar. At some point, if all you eat is sugar, you're going to get sick. You're going to get real sick. So you've got to make sure that you are having a diet with some substance.
All right.
I
really appreciate that.
Shout out to that.
But what you just said something, and it highlighted what I was truly looking to articulate. Okay, thank you. Now, you're right. We can't survive off of sugar. But why is it that we're sending people to the sugar, which is social media, when truly we're placing our website links, which is our home that we pay for, our digital real estate, that allows us to not have to sustain from the sugar, not have to actually build our foundation like how they're saying we have to. It's my way of selling out of the trunk all over again, just in a new era.
So I think what you're saying I touched on earlier about the platforms, but here's the thing. The only people telling you to eat the sugar are the people manufacturing and producing the sugar. So you don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? So because the problem I find with a lot of artists, they love trends and they see whatever wave is happening and they decide, let me jump on this one. Now let me jump on this. They literally tell you on new trending sound. Use this to keep you within those platforms. As opposed to me, I label my own videos, new trending sound, follow me here. And I push them elsewhere. Artists have to stop believing everything they're saying. Point blank period. You have to stop, you have to understand the industry it's an industry. They're designed to make money off you. Nobody cares about your song. Nobody cares about you. They don't care about your family. Don't care about your struggle. They don't care about what you went through. Because the minute you no longer exist, they're gonna find somebody else to sit in your seat. It's up to you to care. And I can only speak for myself. That's my approach with my company and my artists and my brand. Don't nobody owe us shit. Don't nobody owe us nothing. If a radio station decides, Derrek, I can't play your song, I'm 100% cool with that. Because that tells me I didn't do enough to make myself a priority to where they should play it. It's not that the industry is holding me back. They're not giving me this. They're not supposed to. The game is not designed for people, for this industry to give you anything. Regardless of how they say it, or how they market it, or how they sell it, it's not for you. They're only doing it to make money off you, from you. It's never really with you. You know what I'm saying? So when they're telling you, I've been anti-TikTok since day one. I am not a TikTok fan. I think TikTok destroyed urban music just as much as Napster and LimeWire did. So I am not a fan of TikTok. And every single marketing strategy and every label executive, what are your TikTok numbers? How many views and how many influencer marketing and all? That's all they wanted to sell you, because they knew they can get the most marketing out of you because you're spending the money on the influencers. You're pushing people to that platform, to the music that they own, and you just end up with what? Clout? No. So don't listen to any of that. Go direct to consumer with everything that you do.
So remember this, the platforms, and he's got an honorable platform, so he shows up I'm telling you, honorable. So if you're not dealing with him, make sure you make the connection. Understand, though, a lot of the general big platforms, they're opportunities for exposure. It goes back to what we said. You want people to hit the follow button, but you have a responsibility to lead them somewhere. And you decide not to fall into the traps of what you see. Like, I really can't stand, the trend, and we talk about and laugh about this all the time. Like, why all the videos are on top of the parking garage with half-naked women shaking their butt? How many rap videos are you seeing that's looking like that, right? But you're an artist. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to do something different. So those are choices you make. You decide not to fall into that trap. But what the platforms do is they offer you opportunities for exposure. So understand from a business mind, well, there's a lot of audience on there. The key is, sure, be on the platform, but where are you leading them to that you own? And then when you want to have a power play or conversation, and this man right here is the best I've ever seen. Derrek, I talk about Derrek all the time and make sure his name is in rooms that he may not have even been in yet because he's brilliant. And so what Derrek can sit down and have a conversation with you is, well, here's my artist, and they have X amount of people in their fan base, and he can show the open rate on the emails. He can show how much activity is there. So he has used the bigger platforms to make sure that he's driving something that the artist owns, which is their actual database. So understand it's chess, not checkers out here, and you have to be strategic, but you don't have to buy into the hocus pocus, because my daughters are here. You don't have to buy into the hocus pocus that you see these other people doing. That's the machine, right? So understand your brands, your brand identity, what you will and what you won't do. You have to know what lines you aren't willing to cross, and there's always another way, and it's your way. And I always say, like, look, let's pave the road less traveled. You have the opportunity to do that, but you have to decide that you won't fall into the trap of what other people are pitching as the easy way out.
There we have it. Do we have another question? Could take about one or two more.
Okay, my question is, how would you suggest, as an independent artist, to go about getting marketing and promotion? And third, secluding, or not secluding, but getting an investor.
Well, marketing and promotion. So the easy answer is find somebody you trust that's reliable and have a budget and pay them. That's the easy answer, right? But I always encourage artists first. And this is just me. I'd rather you not pay me to do it, because then you're held captive to paying me every single time, right? I'd rather you figure out a strategy and I give you some pointers and you do some research and you actually figure it out, because then you'll have your own formula. And I think too often we don't want to find our own formula. It's like, yo, I need help. Who can I pay? And then you're like, man, the music industry is a money grab. It's only a money grab because you don't know nothing. And I'm not saying you, because we didn't talk all the time. So, but if artists don't figure out, study marketing, research it. I'm not a songwriter. I'm not an artist. But for the past 3-4 years, I've been studying songwriting because I got tired of songwriters not showing up to the studio, flaking out. I studied it. I watched videos. I bought books. I educated myself on that process of the business. And right now, the new music we're working on that I've been able to collaborate with my artists in creating the concept, the ideas, bringing in the musicians, it came from me studying that side of the business that I didn't know. Saying that to say, buy marketing books. There are so many things online and courses that can give you release strategies and marketing strategies where they'll give you all the information and you just gotta execute it. I think as an independent artist right now in today's game, that's truly the best way, because I'm a label. And the reason why I've spent the past few years moving the way I have, because I got tired of paying middlemen. I got tired of paying every single person. And then once I see the work that they did, I'm like, man, Derrek, you dumb. You could have did this. You could have figured this out. Oh, that's all they did. I traveled. I sent emails. I subscribed to newsletters. Take the top 3 artists that you would compare yourself to. Google them. Then look at all the media outlets that covered them in a positive way. then look at the writer and the author of each one of those articles. Look them up on Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Then reach out to them and submit your music because they already are covering an artist that is similar to what you do. That's marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to dig and do the research, bro. Because I feel like I'd be shortchanging you if I say, oh yeah, you can do this, and you run up a bag and you pay this and you do that. Like, I hate that kind of talk, bro. I hate it. Because I feel like that's just, it's hurting us, man. I have yet to see that truly help anybody in this city where they didn't hire the right person and they didn't hire a qualified person, right? Like, that's the people, and this is not a shameless plug because Terry's here, but I can count on one hand or these 3 fingers the people I would pay in this city to do anything for me. I'm not paying myself. I'm down to 2 fingers, and it's Terry and one other. Because I know they actually know. They've been there. They've seen it. They were a part of the records. They understand it. Most people out here selling a marketing services, they were not in the room. They didn't do it. I don't care what they say on the blog. I don't care what they say on the podcast. I don't say what meme they post. Man, they were not there. They wasn't in the meetings. They wasn't a part of the strategy. They wasn't a part of the plan. So I couldn't comfortably say, this is who you pay.
Hire the right person. You know, it's a business, right? I like to date. I don't get married. Well, except for my wonderful husband, Tim.
Tim is like, well, damn.
Newsflash.
Yeah, no. Him, I definitely married. But, you know, we just got married in 2021. So I'll let you know this may be a little too personal, but I was willing to wait. I have not been married before. I've not been blessed with children before, but I was willing to wait to find the right person. So there are highly qualified people out here. This is how I help feed my family. So I would say thank you for the compliment because I'm blessed to consider myself one. Now, it may not make sense for you to contract a person. Maybe it's you're buying a few hours of their time to help you set a strategy. That could be possible. I will say this, though. I'm going to go back to the word collaboration. A lot of us in the room, you know, you guys are trying to figure out how to get to that next level. There's somebody out here that's also matching that. And so you may not be able to afford a big, 5-star marketing firm, but who's out here that's their passion is marketing for the music business that's trying to grow and build? Is there a way for you and that person to do business? And I will say, go back to the contract, lay out expectations, make it a good legal document, and then give it a deadline. Date somebody for 3 months. They're dating you, you're dating them. And I will say, sometimes we want to hire services and we think, well, I hired Derrek, I can sit back now. No, that's when you got to mash the gas. A lot of times artists will get signed to a label. Like, don't get signed to Derrek's label and think Derrek going to do all the work. Derrek's going to outwork, but if you're not trying to match his level of work, you're not going to be on that label very long. So there is an opportunity to find someone, if you're at a particular level, who wants to grow in the business. Are they somebody you feel a kindred spirit with, you could resonate? There's a wonderful example of that in our business now, and it goes back to a radio station in Atlanta, Hot 107.9, and this is many years ago, but all of us have heard the name Ludacris. Well, when Ludacris came in the game, he was Chris Lova, and he was doing a shift at the radio station in Atlanta. And there was a guy who was the music director, and his name was Shaka Zulu. And so they just vibed. They had a good energy with each other. And Shaka could see the potential in Chris Lova to be a Ludacris. And then Chris could see, hey, this guy's got a good business head. And so there was some energy between these two brothers, and they have decades in now, all the way up to the Fast and the Furious franchise and the 50 other million investments in business things that they've done as a team. And so there is the possibility of just being aware when you're coming into these networking spaces, there's somebody else here networking that's trying to do the very thing that you need. And so I love that you're here for us and we're grateful, but be here for also the other people that are in the room, because there may be a valuable connection where you can help grow each other's business together. So just don't ignore that part.
And a fun fact, I was the person that was promoting Ludacris What's Your Fantasy when he was independent through Southern Music Distribution. I brought the record to Texas.
All right. Shout out to you.
I
want to add to that?
I want to add one thing. and it's tiers to marketing, right?
Yes.
Be realistic, right? Yeah. If you're an underground artist, it's tiers to it. I give y'all. I like to use Mexican OT as an example. Mexican OT, we did a live fiesta. Hip Hop Street did a live fiesta. It was Mexican OT first time really performing in Houston. We had hired DJ Taco to DJ. So from that point, DJ Taco heard Mexican OT perform. Then he got him tied into DJ Taco. DJ Taco do all the strip clubs, which it branched off, and then it's just different levels. So from that point, then they get to the bigger budget. So you have to start here and then work your way through the process. It's no way as an underground artist you're gonna go straight up to $1 million marketing firm. You're gonna have to work your way up there and then make them connections on your way up.
And then one more thing to piggyback off of that, like you all talking about right now, the budget. What would you suggest to help artists generate capital to get that budget? Because as you know, it's an expensive scene in the music industry.
Get a job.
To get, that too. But it's an expensive scene in the music business to pay for the marketing and all that. So what would you suggest, other than get a job? What would you suggest they can do like in the industry to help generate capital and stuff like that?
I'm gonna give you a real life example. I don't want to name his name, but I have a client right now, and he's incredibly talented. Just got the United Masters situation, but he drives trucks. So he hit me at, my husband was like, who is on the phone? It's Sin texting, right? So he drives trucks. And who is he in the industry? What does his brand represent? Well, this brother is the everyday working man who's trying to take care of his family, feed his kids, take care of his mama, and also put some money aside because he's got a dream. And so he drives trucks. And, I'm not free, and I believe in him, so we decided to work together, but he's got to pay Terri too. And so he said, I'm going to do what I need to do to be able to live the life I want to live. It's not always about getting a job in the game. If you can get it, cool. But oftentimes the jobs that are going to give you more money that you're able to invest aren't the sexy ones. He drives trucks, and he's always like, man, all right, T, I made this much on this route. I'm taking care of this for the mortgage. He's over here for the kid. He's doing whatever he's got to do. And then I think, too, oftentimes we're looking to pay somebody, but we haven't exhausted what we can do on our own. And so just really make sure there's a lot that you can do that doesn't cost anything. We overthink videos, and I've been a victim of that. Like, oh, okay, if I'm doing my free game, it needs to look fancy. Well, I'll tell you, every fancy video I ever didn't do anything. It was the one, me straight to camera, given whatever that I was given that ended up working. And so I would also tell people, hey, make sure there's good lighting, make sure people can hear you. But a lot of the things that you can do to market, are free and expensive and require very little. The other thing that I think as artists we don't do, so let's say, for example, you just starting out. Have you played your song for 10 people? Do 8 of those people like you? Do they like the record? Hey, man, I really like that record. Okay, 8 people follow me here. Then I know I got 8 people that are following me that really dig what I'm doing. All right, my 8 people, you're my special crew. I need you to share this with 10 people. We're not asking our fan base, which is our community, to do anything except for go download my single. But the people that really rock with your art, they will show up for you if you just ask. And they would be incredibly loyal if you included them in the process, and they don't cost you anything. What do they cost you? Hey, I'm gonna do an Instagram live tonight with 3 fans. I'm gonna link you in. I'm gonna drop hey, I'm gonna post some people. If you can share this post with 10 or 15 people, I'm gonna post some people and I'm gonna drop you a personal message. Or I'm doing a little show over here at this venue. I'm gonna make sure you get the meet and greet, or you get the front row seat, or you whatever. There's a lot that we can do about marketing that just really incorporates our fans. And when fans see that you're somebody who puts and makes them a priority, they're gonna tell everybody they knew about you. I was with KRS-One probably, Derrek, 2 months ago? About 2 months ago, I was with KRS-One. And we were in a room where there was a lot of students from Texas Southern University. And the students, they knew a little bit about KRS-One, but real hip-hop heads, the old school cats, we really know who KRS-One is to the game, right? I see you do. So, he did what he was doing. He was recording an interview, et cetera. And there was a full group of students. The information he was given was great, but they really didn't know him. But after he took every picture, they were like, yo, can you do a video? Can you do a drop for my production company? Can you shout me out so I can put you on the gram? He did it all. He did everything. And he spent an extra hour just doing all of that. And one of the kids was like, man, I can't believe you're doing this. And he said, well, shoot. He said, I'm doing this because, hon, I know exactly what you're going to do. If I have a positive experience and an interaction with you, you're going to share the picture that we just took. You're going to put that drop that I just did for you on your Instagram, and you're going to tag me in it. And then people say, well, who's this guy? Because maybe I don't know who KRS-One is. But if my friend who I follow, well, who is this guy that she just put on her Instagram? So let me click him. And now I'm learning more about this artist or this person that I haven't yet become acquainted with. And so I understand at some point you do need to invest and spend money. You really do. And it's not a cheap game to play. But if you do a better job of exhausting your free resources to create demand for your supply, when it comes down to spending that bread, you're going to have to spend a lot less bread to go a lot further. So just consider that.
I got 3 quick things for you for marketing, and they're all tying together. 1, go to every streaming platform that your music is on and look up their best practices. Their best practices, and even like Spotify for artists, Apple Music for artists, Shazam for artists, Tidal for artists, Pandora AMP program. They have all of these different resources to promote your music within their community for free. So Spotify has 144 million monthly subscribers. Your music is in the hands of 144 million people right now. Your job is to let them know it's there. They have all types of different tools to use within their platform. And they're going to make sure those tools are used properly and they're beneficial, because it doesn't make sense for them to invest in their company and the stuff don't work. So go to every streaming platform and their artists, make sure you sign up for their artist pages and then go through their best practices. The second thing is throw your own concert. The thing that helped L.O.U.D Music's name really move throughout, I'll say Texas, is when we started throwing the first L.O.U.D Fest 4 or 5 years ago. And then before that, we did a concert series where we would pick 5 artists and put them on a concert and let people free to get in. You just had to RSVP. We did that for a few years. Then we took all of those email addresses. Hey, we got a new t-shirt dropping. Come by the office and all t-shirts are $10. We'll have 100 people come by and buy a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the marketing I did led to something or somewhere. So if you do your own concert and you put 2 or 3 opening acts and give them tickets to sell, promote it. They're all promoting you as the headliner. So you're getting your name out there. You're making money at the door. People are selling tickets and they're promoting you. You're generating revenue. Now, what you do with that revenue is what separates the businessman from the casual person just running through the industry. Now, if you take that money and do a bigger show, or now you done took that money you made from that show, let me book a little flip. Let me book somebody in Houston to be a bigger headliner to attract somebody I couldn't. And now they're posting you on their pages and now they're promoting you. So do things like that to where it'll generate revenue, but it's also getting your name out there to people. And you don't market a song. Now, when I say that don't mean don't push your music or don't promote your music. But if you're trying to raise money, it's not going to come from marketing a song. Market the brand. Why? They want to wear your t-shirts, they want to wear your hat, they want to wear your socks, they want to come to your show. Like for male rappers, women gotta want to date you, dudes gotta want to look like you. Point blank period. How are you influencing them? And so everybody want to rock that shirt. Everybody want to rock that hat. And you can sell them those things to generate revenue for your brand.
All right. So before we close out this panel, I myself am really big on the youth. So for young aspiring artists, so I mean teenagers or young children, what would be your advice to them? And then also, after you finish giving us that advice, let us know where we can find you on social media platforms or your website.
Educate yourself, take music theory classes, learn to play an instrument, take vocal lessons. Anything that your high school or middle school offers that's in the music realm, do it. Be a band geek. Be in the choir. Even if you rap, still do it all and learn and understand music. And definitely, I feel like the youth are way more internet savvy. So dive in. I can be found on Instagram, Derrek MC, Derrick MC, or official L.O.U.D, or the website, loudmuzik.com.
Thank you, Derek. Terri?
Well, I mean, the education piece is everything. I mean, I'd say the same thing for grown folks. You want to be an artist, but you don't take vocal lessons, or you won't learn how to work the equipment in the studio, or, you won't learn more about the aspect of what it takes to create art. And when you don't do that, now I have to get a song from Derrek, so he gets that published in. I need somebody else to make my beat. They gonna get that. So educate yourself about the business. I can't co-sign that enough. I would say as a parent, I'm really not. I would pour everything into my child if he or she wants to sing or she wants to do whatever in this, but I would also wrap my arms around them and I would put them in that bubble till they're 18 years old. I'd give them all the prodigy education, everything about it, but this is a brutal business. And as we see when we're reading what's happening, or the stories that we're now uncovering about very young people that got into the game at a very young age, and what happened is we were chasing fame and stardom and all the things, and we get kids being put in positions they should never have been put in the first place under the guise of being famous. And so I would wrap every possible bubble around my kids and make sure that they were grounded and healthy and whole on the inside and had time. Sure, pour everything into them being great at the craft, but I wouldn't let them loose on the world until I had a good sense of they have a sense of who they really are. Because when the business comes and tries to tear you down, doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, that's gonna come for you. And if you don't have good grounding, and if you don't really know who you are and know who the people are in your circle that are really gonna protect you, you can fall victim into somebody else's, selling you your bag of dreams. And so we've seen that repeat itself over and over and over. And then we wonder why these artists who came out really young, when they're older, now they've got a drug problem, or now they're in rehab because they're depressed or had committed suicide, and all of the terrible things that we see is because a kid had talent and he got thrown to the wolves way too soon. And so I would put my kids in bubble wrap. And I would protect them. I would educate them, but I would protect them. And then if that's what they really want to do as an adult, I'll be there 5,000 grand to support them, not a question. But I would absolutely not let my kid loose in the music business until I felt that they were at a more confident and secure place.
And where can we find you, Terri?
Terri Thomas, TerriThomas on Instagram and all the socials.
Thank you.
Man, I would say a lot of what you guys said. I know the question was phrased for the kids, but it applies to adults as well. Education, but also trying different things. You know what I mean? I wish I had the opportunity to learn different things for free at school growing up. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of talent also comes with exposure. Like trying, for example, I do TV personality work. That wasn't something I discovered that I loved until I was 22 years old. You know what I mean? I just knew I wanted to be an actress. But until you try different things, try your hand in other things, be versed in everything. Like, hey, I want to know a little bit about what goes on behind the camera as well as in front of the camera. I want to write. I want to have a little bit of knowledge of everything. I'm not saying be a master of everything, but it's helpful to know how things work. It only works to your advantage.
Where can we find you?
Find me on Instagram. It's Kendra, Kendra, Faith, Faith 11. So Kendra Faith 11 on Instagram.
I would say education and protection. Hip hop is a deadly game. So for kids, I would say protect them. As long as you can, and really, are you sure this is what you want to do? But if it's what you want to do, education, make sure they're educated and make sure they're around the right people. And I think that'd be, that's basically what I feel like. Just make sure they're around the right people.
And how can we tap in the hip hop streets?
You can tap into Hip Hop Streets on Instagram. If you have a cell phone right now, it's a free download. Also, artists, you can upload your music for free as well for Hip Hop Streets. So we just a platform just to help you grow, So you can upload your music videos. Our Instagram is Hip Hop Streets. Our website is Hip Hop Streets. Everything is Hip Hop Streets. So tap in with us. We also offer free healthcare for a lot of artists. We know that healthcare is very key. You have to be healthy So we also just launched our healthcare agency to give y'all free healthcare, and it's no open enrollment. You can do it month to month. Our whole theme is empowering the culture of hip hop. So that's our theme. So check us out.
Love that. And then for us here at Community Cultivation Network, our Instagram is CC Network HTX. And what we do is we connect small businesses and creatives to their communities around the world through media and event production. This right here is CCN Studios. This is our studio. We've been open for about a year and a half. And we have rehab part of our studio. We still have another 15,000 square feet that we have not rehabbed that we're going to make a theater. And what our goal here is to create a one-stop shop. So when you come in here, come through our doors, we help you with marketing, we help you with branding, we help you with content, everything that you need to at least put yourself out there and to get to people like this. You know, I really have a heart for small businesses and entrepreneurs, creators, independent artists. We're just getting with the music industry, which is why it was so important that I added a music category to this event, because we want to help everyone. You know, we have platforms, we have a network of podcasts, we have over 20 podcasts, and we don't charge. So you could come through the door and you could get 20 interviews easily like that to help you put yourself out there. So I just want to take the time to plug CCN Studios so everybody know what it is that we do, for sure.
Congratulations.
So I really do appreciate this panel. We are going to take 10 minutes before our very last panel. And before I do that, I want to ask, our last panel is CCN. It's the young adults that's here at Community Cultivation Network that's working hard every day with the small businesses. And what they're going to talk about is social media and how to put your presence and your brand on social media. So if you can, please stick around to support these young people. They're already nervous to get up here and have this conversation. I think it's very important to support them because this is our future. So if you have some time, please stick around for the next 30 minutes just to hear and support our young people about social media, and that will conclude the remix. So I appreciate that.